Hey guys, Matt Johnson here and welcome to my YouTube channel, Beer and Watches. Today's episode is a state of the collection, but it's not my watch collection, it's actually the watch collection of one of my subscribers. Today we have an incredible collection that is owned by a gentleman by the name of Mark Spector, who is from Atlanta, Georgia. It took 2 hours to film his watch collection and we didn't get all the way through it, so I've cut it up into multiple episodes. Let's get into the first episode of Mark Spector's incredible watch collection. Now time's a ticking, let's get stuck in. Hey guys, Matt Johnson here and welcome to my YouTube channel, Beer and Watches, where I bring you the very best in watch news, watch reviews and craft beer brews every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Now today is a very, very exciting day because there's a gentleman to my left or to my right, I'm not sure which way I'm pointing here, but you know, this gentleman is, well, he's brand new to my channel and this episode is kind of a brand new thing too. What we are doing here is I'm now doing a new thing called Subscriber SOTC, Subscriber State of the Collection. Not my collection, but your collections. That's right, my subscribers. I don't care if you've got 3 watches or 300 watches, and I don't care if your watches cost you $30 or $30,000. If they're important to you, then they're important to me. And so I want to bring your collections to my YouTube channel. And this gentleman right here is my first. I think how we connected was, I think you reached out to me by email and I said, I want to do this thing. And so will you be my guinea pig? And you said, yes. Is that right? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's more or less right. That's how we met. So that's great.
Would you start by telling everybody your name, your YouTube subscriber name on my channel and where you are from?
Sure thing. So I'm Mark Spector. I live outside Atlanta area, and my YouTube subscriber name is Vuja Day. And it's only because Deja Vu was taken up and I just was too lazy to rename something else. So that's how I am.
I love it, man. Well, welcome to my channel. It is an absolute honor. And I just want to say, first of all, before we dive into that incredible collection that I'm completely jealous of already, if I'm honest, I just want to say to you, and I say this on my channel, and sometimes I don't know if it comes across as sincere as I want it to. You know, I started my channel a year ago and it literally has grown because of people like you. And I would not be here a year later without people like you. I mean, it's been such an honor. And the reason I started my YouTube channel is because I've been out of work as an entertainer. There's no work. And I had a watch collection, not as big as yours. But I thought, well, what do I love other than magic and performing? I love watches. So I'm going to start a channel. So I did a year ago. And you don't know yet, but I finally got monetized. I reached 4,000 hours.
Awesome.
So,
congratulations.
Thanks so much, Mark. And it really is because of people like you. So I'm super stoked. Thank you so much for taking the time to bring us your collection. I know my subscribers and followers are going to love this. They're probably itching, chomping at the bit right now, like me. So I don't even know what to say. I can't even see the names on these watches, and I'm jealous. There kind of seems to be a theme here. Is there a bit of a theme to these watches?
Well, I think I like more dive watch style.
Yeah.
There was a phase where I was going through more dress style, but more dive watch. Most of my watches are automatic. If I do have a quartz, then it's usually a purposeful quartz. So, for example, the quartz I have, most of them are either very unique in that they're synced with the atomic clock, or they're solar powered, or one that I'll talk about, which is probably one of my favorite quartz in a little bit.
Right, and so you really are. I actually just switched it here to speak of you. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll try it. But you literally are. Just about automatics, except for the few quartz you have, and I'm guessing that the quartz you have are either a bit pricier, or you've got them because they have a meaning to you, or they mean something to you. Is that, would that kind of be right?
That's pretty much right. Yeah, there's a few that I'll go through the early watches that I had, which kind of started some of this off, and then I've been collecting for a long, long time, and it's something that I've been real passionate about. I almost actually went to be formally trained. I thought about dropping everything I was doing, formally training as a watchmaker, and
like a horologist and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah,
Really, really.
Yeah.
And what stopped you from doing that?
I was already married by that time, and it probably would have been a little bit too disruptive, and it wasn't in the cards. So what I did instead is I started self-teaching myself on how to repair pocket watches. So I have an old pocket watch that I repaired that I'll walk.
Oh, so you don't. So you don't actually just own watches and change the batteries. You actually know all about the workings, get into them. Do you mod any watches or anything like that?
I'm a hack, and actually over the holidays, my wife got me she gave me a watch kit that I assembled from scratch, and that kind of set the.
I think I've seen it. It like comes up on. Is it the one that comes up on Instagram all the time, like the build your own watch thing?
Yeah, it's actually, she picked it up from Esslinger, I think it was the company, and so it's the same type of thing where it has all the components. And when I set that together, I put that together, then I kind of got hooked, and so now I have several watch projects that I'm working on, which are going to be the very first SKX model that I have, because I've never actually owned an SKX, but I'm modding on that format. That's what I'm modding.
One of the well, I was going to say easiest watches to mod, but one of the most modded watches out there is the SKX. I only own one. I did actually put it on my channel, I think, and it's an SKX 007, and it's modded with a red dial and red bezel. And I didn't mod it. I bought it on an eBay auction, got a great price. It arrived, and then I found out it didn't work. So the whole movement had to be replaced inside. So it cost me a fortune. But I love that watch. So, I mean, do you know what? I know a little bit about the insides of watches, but like taking the back off, showing you guys what's in there on my channel, that's about as far as I get. That's as far as I dare let myself get. Otherwise, I'd probably completely ruin the watch. That's amazing. I think that's got to be really cool for you as a watch collector to know what's going on inside too.
Yeah, it's been it was real neat. I've always been hesitant to open up a wristwatch because everything is so much smaller than the pocket watches. And but I got one of these microscopes, with the LCD screens, and you can put the watch piece right underneath, and you can work through the microscope screen. So it's a lot easier to do that.
So it's not it's like a little TV set thing.
Yeah, it has like a little TV, LCD screen at the top, and then a microscope and a base, and so you have plenty of room to work on beneath the microscope head, and you can zoom in and take pictures and video if you want to.
I gotta try it. I gotta buy it. I've seen these build your own watch kits. You know what? I gotta get over my fear and try it, because the thing about YouTubing is I'm always trying to come up with different ideas for content, right? And so I think that would be watching me Frankenstein a watch would probably be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
It's scary.
I'm curious. Okay, I've got. Before you show us the whole collection, can I ask you 3 questions? And if you want to do it a different way, then you tell me. But I'm gonna ask you this. So, okay, 4 questions. How long have you been a watch collector?
Probably as far back as I can remember, but I formally started. There was one moment in time where I purchased a specific watch. This one that I'll put on a close up, and it was just a Citizen perpetual calendar that I think it was $200 at the time. And the girlfriend I was dating at the time, she thought I was absolutely nuts, and clearly she didn't understand. And so that was kind of what kicked everything off. Because
$200 to somebody who doesn't know anything about watches is a lot of money, right?
Yeah, and that was probably 28 years to 30 years ago, something like that. It was quite a while ago. Yeah.
And was there a big gap between, like when I got my first tattoo, there was like 13 years before I got another one. Was there a big gap between your first watch and then actually getting started on collecting more watches?
Yeah, there was a bit of a binge early on in my career, and I was getting a nice watch to mark a specific occasion or event in my career. And then I kind of put it on pause. And it wasn't until COVID hit that, and I was locked up and just, I don't know if it's stupidly or beneficial for my mind, but I decided to start looking into watch channels. And that's how I found your channel. That's how I found a bunch of other channels, and I just started watching it and getting really immersed. And 2020 was a really bad year for a lot of people, but for my watch collection, well, it was good for the watch collection. I don't know if it was.
This didn't all happen in 2020. Please tell me it didn't happen in 2020.
Believe it or not, a good
Really?
number of them did. Yeah, it was actually surprising how many did. And
I had to start buying AliExpress watches because I've got no job. It sounds like I don't know what you do for a living, Mark. I'm not going to ask. It's either very profitable or illegal. I don't want to know. But that is wow. That's incredible. That's truly incredible. So okay, so I'm curious. I'm going to ask you this. What is your most here's kind of how I want you to start with your collection. What is your most expensive watch? And hang on, hear me out. What is your least expensive watch? And which is the watch you love the most and why? And take it away, all yours.
Okay. The most expensive, let me dig into here, was probably this one that I just picked up. And let me, I'm gonna.
And where did you get that watch case? I know my subscribers are going to want to know. Did you make it?
I found this on Etsy, but there's they do have a webpage store, and I'm trying to remember what the name of the store is. But if you look up watch cases on Etsy, you can find this one. They have all different formats, whether it's just 10 watches, two with no drawer, or 2 layers, or even 3 layers.
It looks like it's been custom built. That's not like a Chinese thing. That's craftsmanship.
Oh yeah, definitely. I figured I needed to splurge a little bit to put my watches in a nice home.
Well, nothing sets that. I always go on about packaging in my channel, about how it's so important to have nice packaging when you buy a watch. And a lot of people don't agree. A lot of people would rather the money go into the watch. But okay, so what we're looking at here, that's an Omega, is it?
Yeah, this is an Omega. Let me get it the right way up here. And this is the Speedmaster 300M chronograph.
Beautiful.
And believe it or not, I picked this up from eBay through their certified buyer program. And it was one of these things where it was through I think it was Watchbox was the seller, and they sent it through their certified program. So this was technically a used watch, but this watch still had the original tags on it, and all the plastic was still on it. It had never been worn. It has
packaging, paperwork, the whole
the full deal. It even came with the original warranty, which was it had been purchased like 5 months before, and somebody, I guess they didn't like it. It is kind of a beefy watch, and so maybe they just didn't like it, and they just traded it in against something else. But it's a brand new watch, and I saved like $2,000 on this. Normally, you can pick this watch up for about, I think it's about $7,000.
Now, can we be rude enough to ask you what you paid, or is the wife listening and we have to pretend that it's?
I hope she's not listening.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, I think this was like a little over $5,000.
Right. Which and US dollars, and I always say that because I'm from Canada, so I always think Canadian dollars. So that's probably about 15,000 Canadians. I'm joking, but so is that the most expensive watch you own?
I think that's the most expensive watch I own today.
Great. Can we now have your address and a time when you want
these are specially gathered for today's event. So
I've been, you know what? I don't own an Omega. I don't own a Rolex. I don't own a Breitling. I don't own any of those top. Really, the top kind of ones I've got are the Tissot. I've got the Tissot C-Star Powermatic 80 1000. I've got the Hamilton Ventura, which was about $1,200, which I really like. The Elvis Presley watch. I don't own any of the higher end ones. I certainly have got my eyes on a lot. I mean, the Omega Speedmaster. There's something about that wave dial on there that I just absolutely love. Rolex, I mean, look at that. I mean, ceramic bezel. I love that kind of, I don't know, would you call it hexagonal bezel.
Yeah, the scallop bezel. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. These even have the ceramic pushers for
Oh
the.
wow,
And
wow.
then if you look at the back, this is. So I wear my watches, by the way. I don't baby them.
Yeah,
I have.
that's stunning. That's absolutely stunning. The kind of engraved rotor there and everything. It's just stunning. And what movement is in that?
This is the 90. Is it the 9300, 9900? It says 90. Yeah, 9900.
Right.
I think it says right
It's
on the.
it's gorgeous. I mean, the thing
Yeah.
is, the interesting thing is, I've spent a lot of money on other things other than watches. It's really weird. Like I'm a huge, completely off topic. I'm a huge virtual reality fan. So my whole
So am I.
downstairs. Are you really? Are you really?
Yeah, yeah. I have a HTC Vive, and
I have
I went wireless.
Okay, I have an Oculus Rift S, and I got
Yeah.
mine 5 years ago with a high-end
Hmm.
PC. I got it all together. It cost me like $5,000. I was like an early adopter. But my downstairs, where I film all my videos, that whole thing is a huge like room scale VR. I'm addicted to it, right? But I remember it from
Yeah.
the '80s when it first started, and it wasn't any good. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so it's not that I don't spend money on stuff, but I just haven't spent a lot of money on watches yet. And I think, it's
Hmm.
interesting because with my channel, it's hard to spend. I could spend $4 or $5 on one watch and I get one review, or
Right.
or I could buy 20 watches and get 20 reviews.
Yeah.
So, but that's a beautiful, beautiful watch.
I think this is it's awesome idea to share other subscribers collections, because I mean it's an easy way to gain access to a bunch of different types of watches.
Listen, and I've had a few people. Another gentleman from Alberta here in Canada offered to send me some watches for review, and I send them back. But I'm going to do the same with him as I'm doing with you. And I think that it's just fascinating to me, and I think it's fascinating. I think it's going to be really fascinating to my subscribers to be able to see these watches in reality, somebody who actually really owns them, not on a magazine, not on a an ad from Omega or something like that, and somebody like you that loves them, that wears them, that doesn't baby them, that doesn't. To me, what's the point? There's no point if you're just going to like put it in a lock vault and just leave it alone, never touch it again. It's kind of pointless.
Yeah, absolutely. I told you I had a couple large dogs, the Rhodesian Ridgebacks, and they're very rambunctious. They're very mouthy, and they put some patina on my watches pretty quick. So even this Omega has a few patina marks on it.
Every now and again when you're traveling, you pull like the black dog hair off there or something. I love it.
Yeah.
When I'm traveling, I always reach in my pockets and I've got like a poop bag, and it always makes me really sentimental and miss my dog. I don't know.
Yeah, my wife wears my jackets occasionally to go walk the dogs, and she sticks poop bags in there. So occasionally I go on a trip and I reach in there.
It's so weird. I've been on a cruise ship, and I've been in like Bermuda, and I've been on a motorcycle driving through Bermuda, and I reach into my shorts and I've got a poop bag, and I just want to go home and see my dog. Anyway, I'm sure my subscribers don't want to hear about poop bags. So that's must have been. So what's your least expensive watch?
So the least expensive. Let me find.
And I always say not that it really matters. I'm just curious, but not that it really matters, because I always say it's not about how much you spend on the watch. It's about what the watch means and whether you love it. It's not about what everybody else thinks, right? So,
believe it or not, I think it might have been like maybe one of these. This was a knockoff brand that I don't even think they're available anymore. It was called Trius, and they had I keep putting these upside down here. They had a number of different styles, and they were all automatic. And I like different types of movements. This is called a regulator movement.
I think it's upside down now.
Oh, is it upside down?
I think so.
Let me see. I'm looking at my video. That's upside down for me.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
The crown should be on the right. So if the crown.
Hang on. Well, for me, it's on the left, but for you, that's on the
Okay.
right. But now the weird thing is, I don't know why it's coming out backwards. I have no idea, but it's coming out backwards for everybody else too. But
then let me try this. Is that
there you
better?
go. Now it looks right.
All right.
Here's the thing. We've probably both got thousands of dollars worth of watches between us. We can't figure out whether it's the right way up or not. I love it. But,
so the software it looks right to me, but it's wrong. It's wrong for you. So I just switched it around, so it should be fine.
It looks right
okay.
now. So what am I looking at on the face there?
So this is called a regulator, where you have a small seconds at the bottom, and then you
Yeah.
have the minute track separately in the middle, and then you have the hour on the top. And so basically, the minutes and hour are separate. And the reason they do this was to make it easier for people to distinguish the hands, so they don't overlap as much.
Yeah.
And so that was
you
the
know,
purpose
you know
behind the
what?
regulator.
I'm familiar with those, but I got to be honest. That's one of the first ones I've seen. I mean, as I do this channel, I'm learning as I go. But that is. Oh, and it's got an exhibition case back as well.
Yeah, the exhibition. This I believe it's a Miyota movement, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's a modified Miyota, but this is a Trius, a Chinese. It was a Chinese brand, and
I actually really like that.
Yeah, it has the coin edge, or the edge on the side. It's the coin edge. Yeah.
It's. I mean, and it's a big crown. It's a big chunky
nice
crown.
Yeah.
I actually really like that. And this. And what are we talking for that? $100, $150, $200.
I think I probably paid. Probably a couple $100 at the most.
Yeah,
at the most at the time.
And you know, this is what I love about watches, and this is what I love about watch collecting, is you can show me an Omega, and you can show me a Trius, and you put them, and I like them both for different reasons. I'd be just as happy wearing one as wearing the other. I think that's because I'm all about wearing watches not for anybody else other than myself. That's gorgeous.
And then here's another Trius that I got around the same time, and basically this has a retrograde minute hand. And you can see the hours.
So for anybody who doesn't know, the retrograde goes round and then it springs back to the start, right?
So let me get this centered under here, and what I'll do is I'll advance the time, and you'll see when it hits the 60 minute.
Spring back.
It goes. Well, making a liar out of me. Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
And this is why it's one of his least expensive watches.
No, I was going the wrong way. There you go.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've got a couple of retrograde movements on some of my watches, and I just find them fascinating.
And what happens, one of my favorite watches of all time that I never ended up having, but I did have it on my wrist at one time, was a Roger Dubois, if that's how you pronounce it. And it was it's called Sympathy, spelled in a very French way. This is I'm trying to show the movement here. This is another modified.
Miyota.
It's got a deploying clasp.
But I mean, look at, is that genuine leather on there?
Yeah. Yes, it is. I think it is.
So look at that. I mean, genuine leather. It's got a butterfly clasp, and the face of that to me is elegant. It's classic. It's simple. It's unusual. I love when people say people are going to stop you. No, they're not. Nobody's ever going to stop. The only people that ever stop me to look at my watch are other watch collectors. They're the only people that ever say, "I love your watch." Are watch collectors.
I think I could only remember a handful of times that anybody's ever said anything to me about a watch I was wearing. People just don't notice.
It's happened to me. It's happened to me more than two occasions, but it's happened to me on two types of occasions. One is watch collectors, and I also notice other people's watches. And the other one was the first watch I have that is a TW Steel rose gold chronograph. I think I've shown it in my state of the collection. That was my first watch. I bought it in Dubai. And when I was in Vegas, I had it on my wrist. And of course, because it's rose gold and it's got sapphire crystal, one of the dealers said, oh, you can afford to lose a bit of money, huh? And I was like, yeah, which, it's not like a really expensive watch. But they're the only two times. I'm curious, as a watch collector, do you wish you got asked more? If somebody said to you, I love your watch, would you love that? So then you could get into what it's all about and all that?
I'd love to talk watches. I can talk watches and the history of watches forever and ad nauseum. But I get these things from myself. I really, if somebody notices it and they appreciate it, absolutely, it's great. I'd love to dig in. But for the most part, I don't really look for it.
No, and I'm the same. I'm the same. But the odd occasion, if somebody says, like if a watch collector says to me, "Oh, I like your watch," I love talking about it. But I suppose if you've got a $5,000 Omega on your wrist, maybe you don't want people to notice
Oh, this you asked about one of my favorite watches,
Your
and let me show
favorite
you.
watches?
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of
Um,
my favorite watches. This is another one of my favorite watches, and this is a watch that I had for quite a while. This was when I kind of slowed up after I bought this one, and I bought this
so
from it.
it's got a chronograph and a moon phase on the
Yep.
top there. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an Omega Speedmaster Professional with the moon phase, and
Yeah.
it's back when it had the what they called broad arrows, which I love these hands.
Yeah.
They're
The
blued. I don't know if
really.
I can get it the right angle to show
No,
the blue,
I can see. Yeah, I
but
can see the
yeah.
blue. Just they're very
Um,
very cool though.
and this is a manual wind, first man on the moon. It's got a closed case back, so there's you don't get to see the movement. But
Right.
I wore the heck out of this thing, and I love this watch. This watch was I bought this watch when I was kind of I was really at the what I felt like at the peak of my career back when I was younger, and all kinds of things were happening. I felt like I was invincible, and I picked this watch up when I was moving from Boston to California for another job, and
Right.
at the same time I picked up my wife's watch, which was actually the most expensive watch I'd ever bought, and that was
I thought you were just going to say you picked up your wife. I thought that's as far as I was going. I bought the watch and I picked up my wife because she loved the watch. She was one of the people that noticed my watch.
No, yeah.
On the way to California.
Fortunately, we had a deal for quite some time. We still have this deal where, whatever I spend on myself, I have to spend kind of the equivalent on her. So,
Good deal.
so I'm hoping that she's
deal.
not. It keeps me tamed, and
Yeah.
from buying really stupid things, because that Roger Dewey sympathy, it was a buy retrograde. Beautiful watch. It was $50,000 back in 2000, which is probably like $100,000 today.
Sorry, this was a watch that you bought.
No. That was one that I would have loved to have, but this Omega.
I thought the quality of my channel was going way up there. I'm going to put that in my keywords. That's going to help big time.
So yeah, no, I never. Yeah, the most expensive watch I ever purchased to date was the first Omega I showed you, but this second Omega I showed you, which I bought back in 2000, around 2000, I think it's 2001. Yeah. When it bought it from the AD, experienced the whole AD thing, and of course they didn't have online buying like they do today, but they discounted substantially. I think I paid $3,000, a little over $3,000 for this watch.
So now that's interesting, because I've never bought a watch from an AD, but I hear stories that if you go into the AD and you're going to buy a watch, you've got to make sure you're asking for a discount. So is that pretty standard across the board? And do they usually give you one like Rolex, Omega, Tag, Breitling? Will they give you a discount?
Yeah, I think if they're not in the Trinity of watches, then yeah, they'll give you a discount. Absolutely. In fact, I think Omega, for the most part, unless it's maybe the Snoopy Speedmaster that just came out, I think you can probably get maybe 20% off pretty easily, just asking.
Now, in your experience, would you, because you bought that Omega, and I'm asking this more for my subscribers really, because I think it's a really interesting point. I've got a car outside that I bought brand new from the dealership, but of course, the second I drove it off the lot, that car's not worth anywhere near what I paid for it, right? So, and watches, some watches like Rolex are going to go up, but a lot aren't. So,
right.
Would you personally, in your experience with all those watches there, would you personally always buy used, like from Chrono 24 or Bob's Watches, something like that, or would you buy from an AD? Do you think an AD is cool because you get the experience, or once you've done it once, is that it?
I'm in marketing. That's more or less what I do for my day job, and I don't need to be marketed to. In fact, I don't really like marketing, but that's my job. I don't need that experience. The only reason I did this back then was because I didn't really have an online option. And I'm more than happy to let somebody else take the big hit, especially if you get a brand new watch. Like I picked up this Omega. I mean, it was literally brand new. Nobody ever had it on the wrist. It had never been sized.
And you saved like a few $1,000s.
Yeah. It's silly not to let somebody else take the hit. No.
And I think I think one thing that maybe puts people off, and I think it's worth doing shopping online and looking at reputable dealers, because there are so many fakes out there nowadays, which literally you cannot tell the difference for the most part. which is really concerning when you're buying something online, right? So
and I was concerned about that, and to eBay's credit, and I call eBay Fleabay, but for eBay's credit, they did start this authentication program, and that gave me a little bit more comfort on top of it. So after I negotiated the sale, they shipped it off to the authentication center where eBay third party authenticated the watch, took a picture of it, documented it.
I didn't know that.
I received a separate little card with this watch from eBay authentication that had a picture of the watch and the details for the watch and that it was authentic.
Do they only do that with a watch over a certain price?
$2,000, I think. Anything over $2,000.
Okay. So anything over that, they'll certify it, and then basically, if it's found out afterwards that it's not the real McCoy, then it's on eBay, not you. That's great.
Yeah.
So there you have it, folks. That's the first episode of Mark's incredible watch collection. And if you think this episode was good, then the rest of the collection that's coming up is gonna blow your mind. The next episode of his collection will be next Friday, and I'll run them every Friday until we're done. If you're a subscriber and you have your own watch collection you want to show, then send me an email to BeerAndWatchReviews@gmail.com. I'll also put that email in the description below this video. Tell me your name, tell me your contact details, send me a picture of your collection, and I'd love to feature you on an upcoming episode. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me, guys. You can do that by clicking the subscribe link just there to the bottom right of the screen. Or if you're on your mobile device, it will be below this video. Don't forget to click on the bell notification button. That is so important, everyone, because then you will be notified like the alarm on a watch every time I release a new video here on my channel. Leave me a thumbs up, that means the world to me, guys, and also leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of Mark's watch collection so far, and let me know if you love the t-shirts. Did you figure it out before I told you? Rolex, did you figure it out? There's lots more of these t-shirts coming to my store, shopbeerandwatches.com, so make sure you head over there, and you can support my channel by buying one of those cool t-shirts available nowhere else. That's it for this episode. Enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to crack your favorite beer, wear your favorite watch, kick back, relax, and drink responsibly. We'll see you again on Monday for another episode of Beer and Watches. I'm Matt Johnson. Take care, and bye for now.